All season is upon us. Great return guest. How we doing today, Mad Dawg?
We're doing fine, man. It's a nice day. Temperature dropped a little bit, but other than that, it's a good day.
It is. Appreciate you coming on again, Mad Dawg. We're going to do it again, part two. We know that story. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the Doghouse podcast. First off, USA. How about that win this morning?
Yeah, that was something right out of the movie Miracle, wasn't it? It was nice.
It was. USA men's first time gold since 1980. I didn't realize that. Beat Canada in overtime, 2-1. And Jake Hughes, I think he's from New York Rangers, gets the go ahead and sudden death overtime. Awesome. I was listening to it on the way to church. So hey, great win for them, and the women's won too. So
Yeah.
golden men's and women's.
Well, it's a good day. It's a fantastic day for the United States of America.
That's right. It was. Hey, little side note, but hey, good for them. Get the win over that. All right, Mad Dawg, some off-season talk. First is the big hire of Larry Knight, new outside linebacker coach. He had a cup of coffee with West Virginia, but he was at Arkansas State, pass rushing specialist. What's your thoughts on Larry Knight, new outside linebacker coach?
Well, you had me a pass rushing specialist. Let's be honest. That's exactly what I think we've been lacking. As much as Kirby always likes to talk about, he wants to affect the quarterback. Sacks aren't that big of a deal to him. I don't believe that for 1 minute, because when our defense was better, when it was great, we were putting quarterbacks on their back. And I think this is exactly what we need to get that pass rush going, to affect the quarterback. Not only to affect him, but to put him on his back. That's what we needed to do in the Sugar Bowl, and we didn't get to do it. And I think that's why Kirby's addressing this problem right now.
Yeah. Really think Larry Knight's up and coming guy, similar to like Dan Lanning. No one knew about him. Glenn Schumann, he wasn't a big name. What I really liked was he was at Arkansas State. I know, smaller program, but he improved him from 19 sacks to 39 sacks, which is a big jump. I think Georgia was in the low 20s, and you're going to have better talent, better resources at Georgia. And I think he's going to be hungry, younger guy on the recruiting trail. So this is a great hire.
Yeah, Kirby always seems to try to find those coaches that can do, more with less. You know what I'm saying? Like the guys who get the most effort out of the less talent that they have. And so he knows that if he can just apply that back in Georgia, then it should be good to go. And that's exactly what he did. He did good at, I think it wasn't he at Temple too? I think he was at Temple. Then he was at Arkansas State. Yeah, he was at West Virginia for about 5 minutes before Kirby decided to pull him out of there and make the hire. So, yeah, I think this is his time to shine. If he really wants to advance and show what he's made of, then he needs to prove it in the SEC, and he can do that with Georgia. And it'll be a win-win. It'll be a good move for Larry Knight for him to move up, look good, maybe get another job somewhere if he wanted it, or even get a promotion here at Georgia and show what he can do at a higher level like the SEC.
Completely agree. That was a great hire. Also, another big-time name is Robert Edwards. He's going to be assistant running back coach coming over from Washington County High School, DGD, great in the 90s, beat Florida in 1997. How about picking up Robert Edwards on staff?
Well, I think this is an exciting analyst hire for a couple of reasons. Well, one, he's a former player like Kirby. He loves the Dawgs. He's already been helping out with the team, and all that's fine. But what's really great about this is his relationship with high school coaches in the Georgia area. I mean, in the state of Georgia. Atlanta area, state of Georgia, he is very much involved, and he knows all about those coaches. So that helps in recruiting alone in the state of Georgia. So he could go in there, talk to any of those guys. He used to be, a high school coach. So, and he's got NFL experience. I mean, this guy checks all the boxes. Former player, loves the game, can recruit well, and I'm hearing, I mean, don't quote me on this. I'm not 100% sure, but the running backs coach and Kirby may not be meshing too well. So this could be a stepping stone, or maybe a little audition to see how he does helping out with the running backs and see how it goes.
Is that Coach Crawford?
Yes.
Pump in. Okay. I kind of see that.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I hear you hear a lot of things, and I don't want to put it out there, especially if it's not true. So don't say it's absolutely true. But I mean, Kirby's not an easy coach to work for. Kirby's just not. It's very difficult. He gets ornery. He gets mad. He's very demanding. So, sometimes things just don't click.
Yep.
And it is what it is. So maybe he's bringing, Robert Edwards in for a couple of different reasons. And one of them could be, like I said, auditioning for the running backs coach job.
Let's hope we keep him. Whoever it is going to keep the Spell kid, the 5-star from a couple weeks ago. What relationship that? Let's hope he stays.
Yeah, he canceled everything. Now, like I said, he canceled all the other visits. That's like I said earlier, though. It used to be excited when a kid would verbally commit. Now that doesn't mean anything. You used to be excited when you get the NIL letter, right?
Yeah.
You used to get that NIL. Oh my God, the letter of intent. We got it. No, doesn't mean anything anymore. I mean, they are all right now. They could sign. They could be on campus. They could be picking out a room. They are all one pissed off day away from going, I don't want to do this anymore, and go somewhere else.
Or
so
bag of cash away. Yeah.
Everything. Yeah, he shut everything down.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic, and I like that. He shut all his, everything down and saying, I'm 1,000% devoted to Georgia. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, it sounds good, but then he's got to sign, and then he's got to stick to his word.
That's right. So that's interesting. One other one I eventually think he'll be a part of, Georgia, I'd love to, and he's been around in the high school games. I think Robert Brothers, Terrence Edwards, could be part of the staff in some capacity, maybe even after Coley. He works with them with the wide receiver camp. He's been in the high school football, just the whole, industry for a while. So I think he would eventually, younger guy, could be part of it. He's on Dog Nation Daily every Thursday with Brandon Adams. I just think he'd be a good pickup.
Yeah, but he's doing his own thing. I think he's got that wide receiver camp, doesn't he?
He does. And he's head coach at, I forget which school, but one of the bigger schools in the Atlanta area, I believe. Mount Vernon. Maybe
yeah, I mean, but like I said, it's not for everybody. I mean, and Kirby picked up another former player, Marius Smith. You remember he was with Kirby at Alabama. Yeah, when he got that job, he's been helping out with the defense too, and he's brought him on as an analyst now.
That's right. He's a good hire.
He was over there at Kirby with Alabama, and then when he got the job, he transferred over to Georgia. He made the transfer to come over to Georgia to play with Kirby. Made a nice, huge interception against Auburn. It was one of my favorite interceptions of the 2016 season when he got that pick six. I mean, I was excited because I like it when they beat Auburn. So that was a little bit more exciting for me.
Yeah, they were talking about the other day. That was a big upset. I think Georgia was like over a 10-point underdog at home and got the win. I think Auburn at the time maybe was top 10. Really pissed them off at the time.
Well, I'm all about pissing them off.
Oh yeah. Wanted to ask you, so thoughts on Gunner Stockton, DGD, taking less money, giving money back to the program, and how about him greeting President Trump in Rome the other day? That was good to see on social media. And Herschel Walker.
Yeah, if you follow me on TikTok, you'll see that I placed that video where he met him on the tarmac when he got off the plane, and then Trump called him up on the stage, and that was, I'm sure no matter what, I mean, you think you're famous, but then nobody's really famous like a president is famous. Yeah, like whether you like the president or not, it's really a crazy big deal to meet a president. So I thought, I'm not trying to get too political on here, whatever your political stance is, but to me, it'd be a big deal if you met a president and got up there on the stage and he calls you out and talks to you. So I think that's something that Gunner will probably remember for the rest of his life. Oh, yeah, that he got pulled up there, and it's not just hearsay. Now that they got the internet everywhere, he's got video evidence that he's actually been up there.
Yeah, that was really cool for him. But yeah, back to him taking the less money. I think he's just unselfish, all in. Always want to play for Georgia. Can't ask for better leader.
Yeah. I mean, from what I heard from some people who are close to the program, they said that Gunner loves Georgia so much that he would actually pay Georgia to play for the University of Georgia. Like, that's how much he loves it. And he took like the basic minimum that you should take with the NIL money. He signed all that. He didn't want to take anything, but I guess he had to take something. So he just took the bare minimum so he could take the other money, because he could have gotten over $1 million. I mean, easy. So he took the rest of that money and said, put that either towards other members of the team that want to, try to keep them to stay, or let's go get some more talent with it. And that's unselfish. Like I said, if he hasn't won over the locker room yet, I mean, he's definitely won it over doing that because, anybody who cares about spreading the wealth around and helping out his fellow teammates instead of himself is, I mean, that's a leader on a totally different level.
It is. Can't get all dog, DGD better than that. Great leader. And we're glad we got him here another year, second year as starter. So can't wait. And one thing that was just announced, I wanted to ask you. So G-Day scheduled for April 18th. Last year, you went to the game and it wasn't really televised. I think there was some like clips on YouTube. So what's your thoughts on that? And do we get it televised? Do you think it should be televised? Another good thing is not having the second window after the spring.
Well, I mean, that's kind of good because anytime anybody transfers, while I'm sitting there watching the game at G-Day, everybody's texting me, asking me what's going on, and I can't answer them while I'm in the middle of trying to watch the G-Day game. Look, practice games are they are what they are. It's not like you're going to get blown away when you see anything. They're so basic and vanilla. It's ridiculous. We went last year. I took my kids. We had a good time. Some other people want to go with us. And to me, it's just an excuse to go to Athens. Just an excuse to go to Athens, hang out, have a good time. It's not really, you don't go because, it's an actual game. I mean, they're playing each other. It's just a practice game. Will it be televised? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be. I mean, it wasn't televised last year, so I don't see why they would do it again this year. Maybe that's trying to pull more people in to get them to actually come to the game instead of saying, I'll just watch it at home. That is of people who actually care, but it's a good time to take your kids and hang out with your friends and just enjoy it because you're focused on the game, but you're kind of not. And, like I said, it is what it is. Like I said, I like to go because I like to go shop in Athens. I like to spend a day in Athens, hang out with my friends that day. You don't go because you expect to see anything like absolutely insane on the football field because Kirby's not going to allow that.
Yeah. I think it's good. Like what you said is it also gives maybe a family that can't afford it because as you know, economy, the tickets are expensive. It's a lot. It gives them a chance just to take their family there and everything.
Yeah, the past 2 or 3 times I've went, everybody has taken like just a slew of kids, like every one of them. And you couldn't do that during a game. There's no way.
Yeah.
And plus everybody's dialed up to like 10 during an actual football game. Nobody's sitting down. It's loud. It gets crazy. Whereas here, it's just a fun atmosphere. People only stand up if they see a big pass and a catch, and they just kind of hang out. Like it's a very relaxed atmosphere for families with kids. You're right.
Plus, you hadn't seen football in about 3 months. Everybody's a little thirsty,
I always say that though. It's like a tease. I always say that it's just like it's just a football tease is all it is because you realize that I'm not going to be able to see this for another 6 months.
That's right. All right, Mad Dawg, get into some bowl predictions and looking ahead at 2026. What's one bowl prediction for Georgia in 2026?
A bold prediction?
Bold prediction.
A bold prediction. Okay. Well, I mean, I'd like to say they beat Ole Miss at home this year. I would like to see that. I like to see that Sugar Bowl rematch. A bold prediction is that they go in there, despite the fact that Trinidad Chambliss is coming back, despite all of that, they come back with a bitter taste in their mouth of the way they left things at the Sugar Bowl, and they go into Oxford and they handle business. The bold prediction is they will win in that game.
Okay, I like it. I'm going to go ahead and make one. They're going to go and beat Alabama on the road, and they're going to be undefeated at home again this year and extend the home streak. I know it's not long, like 33 anymore, but continue with that.
I can see that. I can see that. I really don't know if that Alabama monkey's on their back anymore. I think the SEC championship may have taken care of that. That kind of just got brushed off because of the way they handle things. And if that pass rush, if Larry Knight comes in and does what he's supposed to do, and that pass rush, whoever they're going to have at quarterback, it could be a long night for them.
They got a lot of questions over there. Maybe they'll make that a 3:30 game, 7-night game, but I'm sure they'll try to make it not make a night game.
It's all about this. They'll make it a night game probably, because it's a big deal, being in Alabama at night.
Mm-hmm.
That place will be rocking, the crowd will be roaring, and fireworks will be going off, but hopefully just not for Alabama.
That's right. Which incoming portal talent will make the biggest impact right away?
Well, I had a different one in mind, but Amarius Williams from Auburn because he's an edge guy, and since we got, I changed it since we got Larry Knight. I think we're going to have to see some things coming off the edge. We're going to see some edge talent coming into play. We're going to see some blitzes, and I think he's going to make the biggest impact, especially if Larry Knight is as advertised and gets that team going. I think he comes in there, starts paying attention in the film room. They start coming in from both sides, putting pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, I'd say the Auburn transfer would be the most impactful.
Yeah, I like him. And Auburn was a mess on offense, but on defense, man, they're pretty solid all year.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
he's definitely part of that, so I like that. Early buzz I've been reading in the spring is Jamarly Riddle, safety from East Carolina, is turning some heads.
Yes,
So
yes. I was. You and I talked about that earlier too. I'd heard a lot about him too. Like a lot of people, like, why are we picking up somebody from Eastern Carolina? Listen, a lot of guys, you don't know how they're going to be, and you kind of have to drop off the recruitment. And then when they go to like an Eastern Carolina school and they start really showing out, and you realize that they're a very big talent, that's when you have people go evaluate them and go pick them people up. Like, I think with Kirby's defense, he could be turning some heads too. Yeah, it's a lot of buzz around him, and I heard he's a beast. Like, he gets after it.
Yeah, I did hear that too. It's good under the radar pickup, a little smaller program, but hey, that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
And how about next one is, who's the 2026 breakout player that no one's talking about?
For me, because I think we need to get back to just the meat and potatoes of football, I think it's going to be Bo Walker. I mean, I know, we got Frazier coming back. I know, we got a lot of good running backs. The running back room is stacked. But Bo Walker, I think he's something special. And I don't think we've seen it yet. I think we've just scratched the surface with him. So I would like to see him break out. I mean, and I think he could do it. If they get that O-line blocking better and they get the run game picking up, take a little pressure off Gunner, I really think that Bo Walker, I mean, he's the right size, he's the right build, he's got the whole thing going for him, and he is lightning when he breaks out. And I would very much like to see him in that run game explode this season.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, he definitely looked really good in his little bit of work. Does he remind you maybe a little Dejon Edwards a little bit, kind of quick in between, kind of slivery, as Kirby says?
Yeah, stocky. Well, I mean, I don't mean to compare him because, Nick Chubb is a really hard sell to tell people he's like him. But he reminds me of his build, kind of. Like he's just stocky, but he's short. But he gets, he cuts through. And that's kind of what you need in a running back. I mean, it's very rare that you get a tall running back. Like, you have them. Like, Gurley was tall, but he was just a freak of nature as an athlete. So you don't normally want your running back to be that tall. And how he can duck down and get in and break through the tackles, and that's exactly what he. Plus, he's got the two names of two of the best running backs,
great name,
Bo and Walker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
I don't know if his parents named him that on purpose. I don't know if his parents named him that on purpose, but it works out. I mean, Bo Walker could be the real deal.
Yeah, I really like that name. Good, strong Southern running back name.
Yeah.
Mine's going to be, I know a lot of them doubted him because he dropped that ball in the Alabama game, but I'm going to go with Talon Taylor. I think there's a lot of hype behind him. You need a number one. You got the Canyon kid from Georgia Tech transferring, unproven. I really like him as being the go-to guy in C.J. Wallace, but I'm going to go with Talon Taylor at the wide receiver position.
Yeah, I could see that. Those wide receivers, he didn't really go hard in the portal this season for wide receivers like he did last year.
That's right.
Like I said, he only got that one out of Tech. Yeah, they're really going to have to step up, and I think that maybe that's he could, if they could just not drop the ball like he did.
Yeah.
If they can learn to get better hands and get comfortable with Gunner, because like they can't practice with a team, but see, Gunner can do whatever he wants to do. That's another part of Gunner's leadership. He can get them together anytime he wants to and throw the ball. He can go in the indoor facility and say, "Hey, let's meet and throw a few balls to see how, see if they can get comfortable with rhythm, see if they can get comfortable with timing." Because that's what it's all about. Once you get that one wide receiver that you trust, and that quarterback and that wide receiver start clicking, that's when you can really, because, I mean, you can throw it in tight windows then because he's going to be there and he's going to catch it.
That's right. And that's one thing. I know they didn't really bring it up a lot because they did a whole lot better, but I know they went way down on the drops compared to 2024 season. I don't even know what the numbers were, but that's one thing that they didn't even bring up in 2025 was the drops. So
Yeah,
definitely improvement.
2024, you could have had a drinking game. Every time they dropped the ball, take a drink, you'd be intoxicated before the second quarter.
That's right. That's a good
It's
point.
crazy, man. I
Would
was
have been
I
a
was
shot
so
game. I think it
over
was
them.
30. Wasn't it 30? It was 30 something, which is crazy. 30 something drops, I think.
Yeah, they were. That does not. I'm so glad. Now, I get it. You're going to drop some balls. That's
Yeah.
understandable. But to drop that many,
Yeah,
that's just no.
I agree.
I don't think that's right. No.
And what's the best position group headed into 2026 season, in your opinion?
Well, it's a. You mean you could say the secondary, but I'm going to go with linebacker. I think that room's pretty stacked, and I
Yeah.
think they're going to. Yeah, I think with Larry Knight coming in here. Yeah, and I think he's chomping at the bit probably to get a hold of this kind of talent. And if they just focus and listen to him, and like you said, how many times have we heard Kirby during this past season during interviews? See, it's the little subtle things that Kirby says and nobody picks up on. Kirby said, "I've sat in all those defensive rooms and I've told them, I've heard them say, if you listen to me, it will click, and then you will start to do better." And we saw that going toward the end of the season. We saw the defense start to get better, and they were still young. So if they keep that in mind, even during the offseason, if they realize that they just listen to the coaches and listen to what they need to do, then they'll stop the run. They'll be able to, sack the quarterback, intercept some balls, deflect some passes, and really, really frustrate and keep that team on a lower score. And that way our offense doesn't have to kill themselves to or try to get in a shootout situation, which is what we were doing a lot last year too.
I know Raylan Wilson was at a different one. Do you think it's going to be Chris Cole to take or back up or to transition in for CJ Allen? Is that who it is? Chris Cole? Is that going to be a replacement?
Yeah. I mean, it could. I mean, but a lot of things can change. I mean, like I said, Kirby doesn't like to make coaching changes, but he had to make one, when we lost that outside linebacking coach to the Dallas Cowboys. So a lot of things could change when Coach Knight gets in there. When he comes in there, a lot of things could change. He could say, "No, I want this guy, not that guy. I know you want that guy," and we'll see if he actually clicks with Kirby and if Kirby actually listens to what he did. Listen, if he says to Kirby, I think it's just a matter of, Kirby has to do a lot with trust because he's not an easy coach to work for. I think if he goes in there and says, I can put the quarterback on his back if you just let me do my job. Just let me select who I want to select. Let me do my job. You hired me to do this position. Let me do it. Now, will Kirby let that happen? Will he hold on too tight? I don't know. But I've always said, if for some crazy reason, which will never happen, I ever got a job working on Kirby Smart staff, the last job I would want is a defensive secondary job because that's a position Kirby played. That's a position that Kirby probably, micromanages like crazy. No way I would ever want that position. But outside linebacker, he might listen to this guy.
Oh, yeah. I like that. I agree with that. They're deep there, but I'm going to go with the secondary because you got Ellis Robinson coming back, who had a great breakout year. KJ Bolden could be one of the best safeties in the nation. Melo Jones, and you're picking up the Riddle kid we just talked about, Khalil Barnes from Clemson, and they're really deep over there. So I think the secondary, if they stay healthy, could be one of the best secondary groups, in my opinion.
I can see that. I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, anything that you can do to affect. If you can't intercept it, don't let them catch it. There's sometimes me and my friends always watch the game. We always say whenever there's like a big, huge, deep ball, and sometimes it's like, take the flag, because the last thing you want to do is give that team momentum. Yeah. And they start catching the ball, the crowd gets into it, especially if it's an away game. The crowd gets into it, momentum picks up. Sometimes take the flag. Don't let him catch that ball. Don't let him get in a rhythm. And then, live to fight another day. But, I mean, I don't know. Just if you can't intercept it, don't let them catch it.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned we were talking about the Chambliss kid. He's coming back to Ole Miss. But in those three games, like Tennessee and the two Ole Miss games, that secondary is getting torched. So we really need them to improve and step up this year.
Yeah, I was getting frustrated because it seemed like they were just leaving receivers wide open. Or maybe they were breaking open because, when those quarterbacks were scrambling like Trinidad Chambliss did, whenever they would scramble, they would break away because, a lot of people were coming in and trying to sack him and it didn't work out. That kid was laser focused downfield. He kept his eyes downfield the whole time. That's one of the things I wish Gunner would do. I wish Gunner would do that, because sometimes when it seems like when when he does all his check downs and when it doesn't work out, he runs. He seems to be tunnel vision. He wants to run and not keep his eyes downfield. And sometimes you get hit. He gets hit the wrong way. Then we could be out with Gunner this time. I don't want that to happen. He needs to work on keeping his eyes downfield and throwing the ball, because there's receivers that can get open. And you and I both know, I've seen it at home and when you go to a game, he's left receivers open whenever he's ran.
Oh, yeah. He does. Very good point. And also, so Kirby taking a different route, and everybody's focusing in on it, that he only took 8 guys in the portal, and he's more of doing recruiting. We're going to stay and develop these guys and stay kind of even re-recruit his team and pay them NIL. How do you think that Georgia's sticking with development versus portal is, and do you think that's going to be good going forward?
Well, when all the smoke clears, I mean, I know NIL is like the Wild West right now. Everybody's jumping around, and you got Indiana figuring out a way to get 23-year-olds all on the roster, even though they're not 5 stars and they won a natty. It seems like every year, if people celebrate, somehow somebody will bend the rules just right and get the portal situation and hit lightning in a bottle for 1 year, and then they'll win the whole thing. Kirby seems to be sticking tried and true. Now, when things run out, when boosters stop wanting to give money, when they say, I don't want to do this anymore, you're not winning like I want you to, or for whatever reason, you run out of money, then Kirby's going to be ahead of the curve, because he's sticking to the tried and true. I'm going to recruit, I'm going to develop, and I want these kids to click. Kirby always says it usually takes 2 years to get a team exactly the way you want them. Most of the time nowadays people are impatient. They don't have that time. Kirby's got a little bit of a cushion because he's already won 2 natties. But if he doesn't start doing it pretty soon, people are going to start getting ill with him too. Kirby either needs to make this work, or he's going to have to figure out a way to adapt to what's going on in college football today.
Yep. Completely agree on that. And I'm going to trust Kirby Smart on this, who to me is still the best coach of college football, and he's got 2 national titles. So definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
And appreciate you coming in, Mad Dawg, again. How do we follow you on social media?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter or X at Mad Dawg 19. You can follow me on Instagram at Mad Dawg 1972. I've got a Facebook page of Mad Dawg fans on Facebook. I've got a TikTok that is really, really good. If anybody's out there watching TikTok, you should check out my TikTok. I think it's at Another Doggone Podcast on TikTok. You should look for Mike the Mad Dawg. You'll find me on there. It'll be there. So anywhere, and usually the logo that you see right there, you usually see that on TikTok. I mean, I put that logo on all my social media platforms. So anytime you see that, that's me.
Yep. He does a great job. Also got Another Doggone Podcast, got his YouTube there. It's 68 subscribers. He's got a great setup when he has that. I'm sure he's got some good upcoming guests. But yeah, appreciate you coming on again.
No, it's no problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Make sure to like, subscribe, share the Doghouse Podcast. We'll have some good, hopefully, draft talk coming up, maybe a little Falcons talk and some other guys. But yeah, really appreciate it. Go Dogs, Mad Dawg.
Go Dogs.